Chargers, but the LA Chargers. It's now no longer the Oakland Raiders. It's now the Las Vegas Raiders. If somehow you've been hiding in a cave, shouldn't we first react to that?
That's a big one.
What do we think, Freeland?
I think it's sad. I understand the option. I get all the business decisions, and I understand that this is ultimately a business, and we get a paycheck from it, so I get it. So I understand all of those things, and all business is personal. That's all true. But to me, it's kind of sad. Like it's a sad thing.
But I mean, if this isn't the equivalent, and I've heard some voices out there from within this building and beyond. It's sad for diehard Raiders fans, but the last 4 years, I looked it up, they're 30th or worse in attendance percent.
They tarp the upper deck.
Yeah,
I think it's, to me, like the sad is the last thing that I would say, just because, sorry, Cynthia, to come at you that way. But,
oh, come on, bring it.
But it's not.
Add you to my list.
It's a national brand.
Right.
You know, and I think it's partially because, you know, we live in L.A. I've been here for 26 years now. There are more Raider fans in Los Angeles than there are in Oakland.
And they also played in Los Angeles.
That's what I mean.
So, LA
so what I'm saying is they lost their team to Oakland. They have remained dedicated, diehard Raider fans. As someone that calls games, that's Southwest Airline. You take a Southwest from LAX, from Santa Ana, from Ontario, it's a Raider shuttle.
Right.
So when a team moves out of your market, it doesn't really affect the dedicated fan base because they'll go find you and they'll go to Vegas.
Except for San Diego. I don't think it's as sad as the Chargers moving out of San Diego, where I don't think they are going to be traveling up to L.A. to watch.
I disagree with that.
There'll be some, but there'll be a lot fewer than there will be Raiders fans going to Vegas.
The one thing I didn't like about all this is they seem to keep blaming the A's. Did you see all that? Like, oh, this baseball just wouldn't get out of the way. The A's aren't the reason that they're moving.
Well, they were insistent upon a dual-use stadium. They were not going to build. Look,
I listened to that press conference from the mayor, though, and the night before she was like,
from Oakland?
Yeah, the Oakland mayor. She was like, I don't know. She was she was awesome. I was really impressed with how good of a speaker she was. And she was like, we haven't talked to the Raiders because we haven't talked. Like it was very clear that that wasn't the case. That's how
well, my understanding is it's because any financial investment that was going to go into the Oakland Stadium meant that Mark Davis was going to have to give up a percentage of team. You know, it wasn't his money. It wasn't the city or the state's money. It was private investment. And they weren't just building a stadium to be used maximum 12 days by the Raiders.
Right.
They wanted a piece of the team. And that was a non-starter. Understandable for someone that owns an asset that could be valued for $2 billion.
I get if I'm conflicted just from the fan perspective on this aspect of it. You know, if you're an owner of a big time, popular, big four North American sports franchise, and yet you can't if you can't be competitive with the Yankees, I'm kind of, well, then just sell your team. Sell it for the greater good, but you're the owner of it. Mark Davis just made out. He made $750 million off of this. I feel like prior to that, he wasn't competitive financially with the other owners of the NFL. Is that accurate to say?
Well, I'll try to make a real
that's
world.
What I'm saying. He wasn't keeping up with the Joneses, so he did that. But I can see a fan saying, well, then, if you care about the Raiders, sell the brand to somebody who can afford it.
But how about this? How about this real-world application of that?
Team.
Very Steve
Let's say you live in a neighborhood, right?
I know, but it's Al's team, so
Let's
I
say
think
you've
Mark
owned.
Davis allowed to do what he wants.
Okay, perfect. Let's say
your
parents own a house in this neighborhood, right? And you don't make the kind of money. Now the neighborhood has changed. It's a desirable location. You've got great schools. All of this big money has moved in. They tear these little houses down. They build up their fancy mansions. Their kids go to the great school. You now have this original house that still sits on the plot where your parents own it. When they passed away, they gave it to you. You live there. Should you have to move out of the neighborhood because you have perhaps the least desirable house that's maybe bringing? No. That's your asset. It's yours. You're not forced to sell it.
Me, you, and the guy and up, the old man and up.
Yeah.
I'm not moving.
Exactly. I'm saying Mark Davis doesn't have to sell because he can't keep up. I mean, that's his asset, and it continues to increase. The only way he cashes in on it is if he decides to sell. Right. But his identity is as the owner of the Raiders. Much like here in L.A., the Buss family's identity, they don't do anything else. They pull a check that comes every single month because they own the Lakers. That is their job. Once they sell, I'm not saying they don't have discernible skills that can be applied in another, but they no longer have a job. Mark Davis sells the Raiders. He no longer has a job because there was no other place he could walk in and say, I'd like to be in your employ. Would you hire me? It's over.
I don't know how compelling it is to the nation at large. I suspect it's kind of, you're aware of, I don't know, does anybody care about the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, who's the most popular out of that group? I guess we always know it's the Rangers. But anyway, in this case, in NFL football, who's going to win in popularity? The Raiders in Vegas. They'll suck people up from Southern California.
A ton.
And from Northern California, there'll be a lot of people like, I'm never watching the Raiders again. But there will be plenty of people that make that trip.
And just because, like Money says, they're a national brand. It's not like the Chargers, where the Chargers fans were mostly entirely based in Southern California. The Raiders fans, you'll find them across the U.S. and across the globe.
So who's the
big
loser? The Rams?
Rams and the Chargers. And
I think the Chargers are the biggest loser, and I think they were the Chargers, from the moment.
I disagree.
We've talked ad nauseum about negative stereotype of the sports fan in Southern California. But I do think, like most markets, they like winners, and especially they have no natural affinity for this team. If somebody moves into the market, you're not necessarily required to vibe them emotionally. So it's going to be based on whether or not the team's good. Chargers,